This is a shakedown. Order up that beat just like it's takeout.
Welcome back to another episode of Real Talk with Coach Alison G. And of course, the one who's representing the voice of all of you, my friend and sidekick, Leah.
Hey,
because she's the voice of reason, and she kind of helps keep me in tune with all the struggles that everyday people are going through, including myself. So sometimes she's my mirror too. But today we have a really fun episode, and it's fun because I totally busted her this week doing this. So we decided this would be a fun episode to have as far as mindsets go. And today we're going to talk about the selectively awesome brain and why we always choose easy over being epic. So welcome. I know that, and I'm just thinking of the conversation
you're just
you
waiting.
and I had.
You're just so eager to tell the story.
No, really what this episode is about is why do we choose easy as a path over what we need to do. We always talk about goals and setting goals, and our last episode was all about being a goal setter versus a goal getter. And hopefully you all are still achieving the goals that you've set for yourself, and we're not going to become part of that percentage that is already quit. No.
And before anything, I have to say that I know the Crown bag is still there. We're still chasing that sponsorship from Crown.
Leah.
Just the irony. Imagine that, right?
Crown, please do something for this woman. Like, this is just, it would make, I don't know what would happen if they did.
I would buy that throne. Actually, I would have that throne sitting in my house. There is a throne, and I will send, we will put that picture up on screen right now. There is a picture of me sitting on the Crown throne.
By the way, when I went to Vegas, I really did see the Crown throne. I thought it was a joke, but it's a real thing. It's a real thing.
It is. Anyways.
It is. Anyways, but back to squirrel moments, and we're going to talk about the selective memory and that awesome human brain. What do I mean by creating easy? Well, again, we went back to goals, and I know last time we were talking about goals, and one of the goals was, I'm going to hit the gym and I'm going to become fitter. And what was easy? I'm going to clean my apartment because that was the easier task to do. So why do we choose easy over something we really want, and how do we overcome that? I know for me, it's I'm going to do it, and then I'm scrolling on my phone for
well, you're looking
2
at
hours.
things of how to do it, but then it's like scrolling. Okay, this is a great workout. Let me just, put it over there. All right, keep scrolling.
You know what's really sad? That little saved button on those reels and stuff. You know how many things I have saved? And
it's great though. Not to, throw shade on the reels or anything, but they're great. It's just do it.
Yeah, the problem is that my window of time to do it got sucked up by watching the reels. And so it was easy to watch the reels and less effective for me to actually do the workout. And all those saved reels are still saved in some little folder I have, and I never look back at them.
That's why your finger is so, it's so cut. Your finger is so cut.
From scrolling. That's my exercise, right? I was like, can't you tell how big it is?
Wow.
And clearly we've all done it because we can all relate.
Everybody's fingers are like this.
Yeah, it's so easy and the funny thing is we all do it, which is how amazing our brain is. We fall into the same trap. If I said to anyone right now, and I know almost everyone out there can relate, how many of you just have Netflix binged?
It's what's called also the doom scrolling. That's that term that's out there. In social media world, it's called doom scrolling.
I have not heard this.
Yeah.
Fill me in.
Doom scrolling is just that, right? Because it's you just literally keep going and going and going. But it's again, it's that whole, I'm just going to keep scrolling. I know I have to go do my workout, but let me just do 5 more minutes. And then 5 more minutes become 15, and then 25, and then 30. And then next thing you know, the sun sets.
I'm not giving any professional diagnoses here because in no way am I capable or qualified to do that. But I swear to God that our kids have such short attention spans, I think, because of this. Trying to get, the only way you can actually get them sit still, and even though they're sitting still, I look at just the scroll, but it's these flashes of information. How do you process anything that quick? It's kind of scary.
Yeah, very, very much so.
Doom scrolling, that just means the future looks doomed. If this
Isn't
is
that
what's
crazy? The fact that there's a negative connotation just continues to, perpetuate that. Scrolling through social media, while it's a very effective tool, it could definitely take a turn for the worse.
I believe so. But that's the way our brains work. And it's pretty as complex as it is, it's also really like a basic thing that we all do. And it's funny, I believe our brains justify a lot of our actions, right? We tend to try to take that easy route in a lot of things. And is this where I get to call you out on the conversation that you and I had?
Have at it. Put me in the guillotine.
Okay. So what do I mean by this? So, well,
she's so proud too. This is like there's a reason why you wear the shirt Coach, right? That's why you have the Coach shirt. I'm just wearing this jacket.
And it looks good on you.
I don't know about all that. I have dog hair all over it, but that's fine.
It came from Norway.
It traveled lots of miles. So I think we were talking about the fact that I said to her, again, referring back to the old episode, the whole 23%, and yeah, I'm a failure. Not like that, but hyperbole is real. So I text her and I'm like, I just thought you should know it's January 4th. I already had cocktails.
Dry January went out the window.
January 4th was when that ship sailed. So anyway, she's like, well, you know that there are alternatives. And I said, what? Do tell. So then basically she said, I tell my clients to use kombucha. And I'm like, wait, what? Ding! Kombucha. I love kombucha.
And FYI, a lot of little craft breweries actually do have kombucha on tap. So if you happen to be going out with friends and it's social and you're really trying to stick to your guns, you can get kombucha on tap instead of the
beer or cocktail. I think for me it's that fizz. There's something in the fizz because I drink my cocktail of choice, and I don't want to turn this episode into a whole alcohol thing, but it's Crown and Ginger Ale. So there's something about the fizz, and it's just refreshing to a point. And then anyway, so
do you ever think that you get sabotaged in your inability to release alcohol from your life because you carry a Crown Royal bag? I mean, this just screams every
day. I'm trying to disprove that theory, and so far it's not going the way that I want to. So
I mean, girl, I'll buy you a purse.
I know. Trust me, I've had people. I received purses for Christmas, and they're like, "Please, just stop using the Crown bag." And I said, "I don't know. I can't help it. I don't know." Okay. But you're right. I am gonna have to goal setting.
Well,
that's my goal. Change my purse.
We'll see if it's
hashtag change my purse.
Hashtag Crown Royal has not sponsored you yet.
Yeah, no.
So when they sponsor you, then you can carry it.
Fair enough.
So to pick up the story, as the coach on the other end, I'm giving her the suggestion, as we do, that here's an alternative solution. The answer back by text was, oh, I didn't know that I could have that. And my response was, oh, I never said you could have alcohol. Now, to preface that story, I accidentally sent that text to another potential client. So,
it was a potential.
It was a potential client.
Girl.
Which I felt really bad because I probably scared them if alcohol was their thing. But it just goes to show you how you selectively chose to say, I made this decision, but I didn't know that I could have kombucha, which is healthier for you. My gosh, it's a fizzy probiotic. And we were willing to take the alcohol, which has, no real benefit for you. And it's just funny how the human brain makes that easy switch for you. And I thought we had a good laugh about it.
Yeah.
I think it's hysterical.
It's a great call out though.
It really was. I can show you the text message. It really did happen. It was funny because it just reminded me, and you were the second one to actually make that happen. The very first time I had something like that, it was legitimately a client who happened to be I think they were at a wedding, and it was the dessert bar table, whatever was there, and was just like, oh, you could have had the fruit if it was there instead of the chocolate cake. And same answer. I didn't know that I could have fruit. You didn't tell me that. I certainly didn't tell your ass you could have chocolate cake. So, it just, that has been something that I think, honestly, one of the best things about my job. I just love the excuses we give to ourselves to prevent us from doing a little bit of the harder work. Look, I'll call myself out on it. When my knee was hurting me, I wasn't exercising at all because my knee kind of flared up. I was doing too much in my lower body. I have a whole core and upper body, and I did nothing. So, we have other body parts, people. We could be working on them. So I just think it's really funny. And that's what this episode is about, is to call out the funny and the humorous, because we all do this. It's not to make you feel guilty or bad, but it is actually a huge deterrent to achieving our goals. Listen, if you want to be a great football player, if you want to be a great soccer player, if you want to be a great pickleball player, it takes a certain amount of self-motivation to go there and learn the skill and perfect the craft. If you want to be a fighter, you don't just walk into a ring and you're immediately the best MMA fighter in the world. So it takes a certain amount of do it, but if you're willing to give yourself excuses why you can't do that, or only show up for part of it versus taking all the necessary steps to be the best at it, well, clearly something's going on in your brain that's preventing you from making that choice, right? And so we're gonna break that down a little bit today. Obviously, I have my notes because, we talk about memory, right? Like selective memory. So we're going to make sure we stay on task here.
And tangents.
We fly our planes all over the place. So, squirrel. Got a little ADD sometimes. But the first thing we're going to talk about is what I call the memory maze, which is how we only remember certain parts of things, right? Oh, look at you. Why are you sighing?
I'm just leaving it alone.
Okay. So
we'll expand on that.
Yeah. So one of the things I like to call it is the memory Olympics, right? And what is that? And it's basically how our brains filter out the information to either justify an action that we do or make us believe why we can't do something else. Sometimes we tend to forget about focusing on the positive. So I know a lot of times when people get back into fitness, all right, or in working out, because again, remember in that one of our episodes, we said that, what was it, like 48% of people, their goal was to work out. And if you have started your workout, hopefully you are continuing it and you haven't dropped off already. But a lot of times when we're talking about that, we forget to focus on how strong we feel, how good I look when I'm glistening, like that's a good thing. Like, I don't say I sweat, I sparkle.
Oh, you sparkle.
I sparkle, or I shine. But we forget about the positives. And then sometimes we will only focus on, oh my God, my muscle hurts. Or, oh my God, this was terrible and crucial to go through. But I always tell people, I don't think I've ever met anyone in all the years that I've been doing this, and anyone who's in this industry, in the fitness side of it, as challenging as a workout is, I don't think I've ever met anyone who said that sucked when they were done. Unless they got hurt, I don't think there's anyone that's walked away saying, I feel like shit, I'm sorry I did that workout today. Have you?
Wow, no, not at all. It's terrifying. It's that walking into the gym, going up to your bike, going up to your treadmill of, oh, here we go. It's here we go, the anticipation of what is gonna hurt in the moment, not afterwards. So I think that is what scares people off. But for me, no, I can say it sucks in the moment, but afterwards it's like, I got this. Because you're just that much more stronger from where you started.
So case in point, I took Leah to a workout.
Oh, God.
An outfit ladies morning out workout. And we put her through a workout.
Oh, she put me through the ringer, all right.
And one of the things that, I had said to her was, go at your pace. Don't necessarily try to go at what you see everyone else is doing.
But we have to give them a little bit of my background, though, right?
Competitively, it came out.
Oh, competitively, it definitely can. Okay, give him your background, please.
So the thing about me is whether or not my fitness is doing great or if I'm at square one, my mind is like already at super fit Leah. And so basically, if I go into a workout and I know I'm definitely not there yet, I still want to give it as if I was, and then I just get super upset, and then I get very deflated, so to speak, because I just think to myself, well, it's almost like embarrassing that I'm even doing the workout because I feel like I'm not achieving it or I'm not doing it. So it's almost like the opposite effect starts to happen, but it's almost like controlling that negative feeling in that moment. And Allie was there to definitely save me and bring me out of that wave.
Because we call that the highlight reel, guys. It's exactly what she is mentioning is we romanticize the best of what we did instead of meeting ourselves where we are now.
And like you say, honoring yourself.
Yeah. I think you have to meet yourself where you're at. And that can be very difficult for someone who is competitive, or if you've been to a place you were before, you knew your previous fitness. That's the romanticizing aspect. That's that highlight reel. I can remember when I was...
I remember when I did that one arm push up.
Exactly, right? I remember when I could hold a plank for 6 minutes and, knock everybody. And so we do. I mean, I do it all the time. I had a trainer who used to drop a slam ball on my stomach, and I'd be, yeah, do you remember that? She knows that trainer too. And it was like, I remember I do that. Drop a slam ball on my stomach right now, and I might throw up from last night. Definitely not in the same place. Yeah, she knows what I'm talking about.
Yes.
But we forget to remember what it took to get there. So in the case of Leo's workout, which I completely understand because Osai behind the camera here has put me through a workout where you might see some video clips of his program that he has written, and I wanted to use it to help rehabilitate myself.
You can do it with Leah too.
Yes, and it was something that, it's not the prettiest side of me. And there are so many exercises I used to be able to do with my eyes closed in my sleep and one finger push it. Like you were saying, like I was so strong. And it's a lot more difficult now to do. And look,
especially coming out of injury, that's something that you have to remind yourself too. And it's so difficult, right?
Yeah.
Because I tore my plantar fascia, my left one, playing pickleball, of all sports. So crazy. Like the orthopedists love pickleball right now.
Yeah.
It's like a booming business now. But anyways, neither here nor there. Came back and I wanted to play as if I was a pro pickleballer again. And next thing I know, I was getting frustrated. But it's just that.
Yep.
It's the highlight reel.
We forget. And part of the reason with Osai that I was like, film this, it's not my prettiest. But it's what almost all of us go through. And I think that that's a part where we forget that everybody starts from step one. And as vulnerable as that feels sometimes, that first step is always the hardest step. It gets better from there. And the more you do something, the more you become accustomed to it. And we forget. And just like Leah forgot in that moment, this isn't then. This is now. Honor where you're at now. If it means don't put an elastic band around your thighs and do that exercise. Don't. Just do the exercise. No one's penalizing you. And that goes back to the idea of what we were talking about celebrating our wins and our progresses. We forget to just say, Leah, you showed up today. Like, great job. That's what you should be patting yourself on the back for, not what you couldn't do.
I got out of bed.
Yeah, you got out of bed.
I left the house.
And you showed up. And it was on a Saturday?
And it was a rainy day, actually. It was cloudy. It was overcast.
But did you have fun when it was all done?
Yeah, no, it was I was crying on the inside, but I definitely walked away feeling stronger.
Yes.
Right? And that's what I have to see personally.
And it's part of all of our growth, right? Don't let the highlight reel get the better of you. Don't just tune into what you could do. There's moments we all have setbacks, and we need to move forward from that. And if we don't, we're going to get caught in that loop where we just abandon our goals and our ideas, and then we're right where we said we didn't want to be. And I think it's important for us to know when that highlight reel is playing, and then to know, like, it's okay to create a new reel too. And not just an Instagram reel for doomsday or whatever. Doom scroll. To me, it's doomsday. We're all screwed if that's our generation.
Talk about the apocalypse.
we're all gonna have Insta zombies. I love.
Yeah, Insta zombies.
So the second part of it is
I
something.
think we're onto something.
New game. It's called. Well, and it would work really well in this next segment called the couch versus the climb. I don't know about you, my couch is my vortex. I sit my ass on the couch and I'm done. Like all my best ideas, I don't care if the laptop is right there by me. I think once I'm down, it's going to take a lot to get me back up.
It's so funny. I call my place the black hole.
Yeah.
It's vortex, black hole. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Similar names. Wow.
And then what happens is we do something where we play a game called Procrastination Polka. We do this little dance with ourselves that I'm going to get to it. And I know me, and I'm sure you've done this too. I think we've talked about it, where I'm going to get to it when this episode's over. And the terrible thing about Netflix, especially if like the series has just dropped and there's like 10 episodes in the series, and now it's even worse because it auto starts for you. So there's not even a pause unless you get that clicker really fast. So I'm like, oh no, I'll get to it. When this episode is over, I'm going to go do my yoga. And I think I showed you what I was doing. I'm like on the couch, like,
she's just warming
like,
up. Yeah.
Here's my yoga and I'm doing it while I'm watching TV. It's not effective at all. But this is what happens. I put it up and then eventually when it's too late now. I can't go.
Oh, it's time for dinner. Where are we going?
Yeah. Then I'll get my ass off the couch for food, right? But outside of that, I won't. But it's pretty funny because that's what happens. We find reasons not to do something because we're so busy thinking about something else. And I will be the first to say I'm a Netflix binger. So now it's like I can't even have the TV on. Like I can't. If there's something that I want to do, I have to know and assess what my weakness is.
It's almost like we have to set ourselves our own screen time.
Yeah.
You know how we set screen times for kids like with the cell phone? It's like, wait, we have to now create our own screen time because otherwise we go 3+ hours watching a screen. Whether it's the TV, whether it's a cell phone, it's screen time.
It's really sad when you get those little reports like, oh, you've watched this amount. You like they do your screen time and you're like 10 hours in a day. But you think about it, you're on the screens for work, you're on the screens for yourself, and we just can't escape screens.
Screens.
I know.
Whatever happened to beepers?
Oh, God. I don't think some people out there even know what a beeper is. Like
a pager. Pager is the correct word.
Well, some of them still don't know what pagers are. Depends on our demographic out there, right? Because maybe 18 to 34-year-olds. I don't know if 34. Yeah, I think a 34-year-old.
Compact disc.
CD for those people who don't know what CD actually meant. But if we go back to like one of the hardest things, I think I don't know if you remember in some of the previous podcasts, we talked about that perfectionist mindset. And this is where we can get into a lot of trouble. If you are a perfectionist and you're waiting for the stars to align to give you all of the right moves to get things done, this could be one of those biggest sabotages that we have when we're talking about setting and achieving goals. Mm-hmm. I don't have the right pair of shoes. My playlist isn't right. The weather isn't well enough for me to go out. I know when I teach classes, we're a rain or shine kind of a thing. And it's amazing to see how many people will actually show up to work out in the rain or give themselves the excuse, well, it's raining, I don't want to get sick. Well, that's not the reason you're getting sick, people. So it's interesting how we set ourselves up that all of these things have to be just right for us to achieve whatever that goal is.
That's true.
It is.
How bad do you want it?
Well, are you willing to take yourself out of your comfort zone? I think that's, that comfort conundrum, right? Like, are you able to really push yourself to do something different, or are you stuck in easy? Is it the way you've always done it? How do you make room for something new? And I think that's sometimes the biggest challenge for people to start or accomplish anything is, where does it fit in your schedule?
And for me personally, again, going back to my previous approach with work, I had, with the freelancing versus the full-time, you would think that it's easier full-time because you have a actual structure, but it's crazy how with freelance, I felt like I was more structured with freelance. I don't know, I really can't explain that, but
And
Maybe
it's
you
funny.
can?
Well, you know what? I think that kind of goes back to the mindset. I think the person who's super structured, which is kind of weird because you are, in my head, a weekend warrior to some degree. But there are certain mindsets where having that 9 to 5 structure really, I know people who are super successful in that because they know when they show up for work. And so when we talked about habit stacking before, like if it's a teacher, if you have a lunch bell schedule, you know when lunch is. If you have a bell that goes off at 3:15 for the end of school, you can stack your snack there. So for some, that structure, it's actually easier for them. And then when they go on summer break, they don't know what to do because there's no structure there. There's others, I think you're more like me with, if I can craft my own schedule, that goes back to, and I think I've said it in our podcast before, try not to build your needs around your day, build your day around your needs. And when you're freelancing, it's a lot easier to start with what my needs are and then craft everything else around that. I can build my schedule around that. So it's easier for me to be able to get things done as long as I remember to do that piece.
Got it.
So I think it really kind of depends on what kind of mindset you are. I think where all of us fall into a trap is that comfort, right? What's comfortable, what's cozy after a long, stressful day. And we'll go back to my couch. I love my couch and my
Have you named it yet? Or is it just the couch?
I haven't named it.
That's actually more dangerous, so let's not do that. Because if you name the couch, that's it. You're like, oh, I can't wait to hang out with Victoria today.
No, but it's dangerous for me is the blankets that are all around my couch. They're so soft and cozy. And
so how about that? Wow, let's just remove that factor.
I can't.
Remove the comfort factor.
I love my blankets. I've actually
let
thought
go
about
of the fleece.
No, you know what I've actually thought about? Getting a blanket ladder. Have you seen those really cute blanket ladders?
No.
They have these super cute blanket ladders that you lean against a wall. So it's not actually on the couch. You hang the blankets on the ladder.
Oh my gosh, yes. Actually, now that you mention it, yep.
I would have to get my butt up off the couch to go get the blanket and then come back. So if I'm already up, I'm up. That makes sense. Right? Like, I might have to do that.
And then you just look at the blanket and you're like, you know what? Left turn.
Yeah.
And off you go to your endeavors.
Because what's really sad, and I hate to even say this, I literally have hand weights right next to the couch. So and it's not a bad thing. Look, if you are trying to get into fitness and you are trying to start somewhere, I can lay on my couch and do some curls. So
well, that's way better than just doing this.
What, couch yoga doesn't count? You should see couch sit-ups. That's just me laying down trying to get my ass up off the couch. It's a sit-up, grab what I need, and come back. Or get the clickers at the other end. I sit up, I grab the clicker, I come back. So, I think you made a really good point of how do we eliminate the comfort factors, right? Not necessarily stripping us of all the things that we love, but how do we eliminate it so it stops becoming an obstacle in our way? And I think that's unique to each situation. I think for me, I need to go get that blanket ladder. But it's really, what is it that's preventing you and holding you back? If it's a stressful day, I think I've mentioned once before, breaking out whatever your goal is into something smaller. So if your goal was, I want to walk 20 minutes a day, then maybe breaking it out is like, keep the shoes in the car. And then as soon as you get home from work, I don't take my shoes off until I actually know my day is done. I've started this weird thing a long time ago because I used to have breaks in my day and I would come home, sit on the couch and get caught in comfort. And it was so hard to get me to go do the next thing.
Shoes on or off?
Oh, before it used to be shoes off. I would relax. It'd be a break and I would relax and I'd be like, okay, well, I'm going to go to the gym before I start the next thing.
But it's just funny though, because in that respect, it's the be in the moment. So you are enjoying that break as opposed to sitting on the couch and then just, all right, but anticipate. Then you really don't have the break because if you're already thinking what you're going to do next. And are you in the moment?
Well, you know what? I found that when I keep the shoes on, there's something in my brain that says don't fully relax because you still have more to do.
Okay.
Right? When I take my shoes off, it's almost like the signal that you're done. You can relax. You don't have to. And it used to trip me up because in the down parts, those used to be my time, like go to the gym or prep my meals or things that I needed to be effective. And now it was, oh, again, one more episode of Virgin River or whatever else it was. So that was something that I find removing the comfort is definitely a good thing. Reframing our narrative, right? How do we get back from to being motivated, right? Break it down into smaller goals. Try to accomplish, like the more you can accomplish and motivate yourself, I think the more you're going to move forward.
Sure.
Little things make a big difference. They always add up in the end, right? If I want $10, it doesn't mean I'm given a $10 bill. If I start collecting my dollars along the way, I'm still going to get there. Maybe a little slower, but I'm getting to the same end point, and ultimately that's what we're looking to do. So guys, we want you to live your best self. We want you to know it's okay to be insane and to have those memory lapses and to justify things that we know we shouldn't be justifying. But at the end of the day, we're all human. It's a quirky habit we all have. We're here to help you through it. So again, feel free to check us out for more information on our Facebook or Instagram page at Coach Alison Gold, or feel free to check us out on my website and any of my Done For You programs at www.coachalisongold.com. And I believe from both of us, we look forward to seeing you on our next episode.
Ask us questions, please.
Yeah,
even
post
me.
your successes in the comments below. We would love to hear from you.
And please subscribe then.
Please subscribe and give us a like.
Fresh. Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown.